Hey, what's up, gamers? Enforcer 5150 here, and we are back to go ahead and do more benchmarks again. We're just going to go ahead and do this on the RTX 4080 with the i7 14700K. We're going at the graphics quality of ultra high, and then we're going to go to the lower ones. With this one, it does look like we do have ray tracing on, and it's using TAA. We're not actually going to use DLSS in this video because it really doesn't seem like there's doing much at all. But as far as visual goes, you can't change it from borderless to full screen, so we're just going to have to deal with that. But other than that, ultra high is going to be what we're going to start with, and then go to the lower one. So let's go ahead and get right to it. All right, so you do have to click on advanced mode each time here. But when I did some tests with the DLSS on, it's really not giving you any more FPS than what you normally would get on quality versus the TAA quality. So that's why I decided to stay with TAA for now and stick with that anti-aliasing. You do start getting a little bit more FPS as you start putting it onto performance and everything. But the point of the quality isn't to be native and to use DLAA, something like that. But yeah, it's kind of messed up. Now, there is some weird screen shearing as I start bringing the quality down. You'll notice it right around this area where the smoke just kind of freaks out right there. And I don't know why that is. And I think it's because this is open beta at this point. But yeah, right now we're running at, 125-ish in that area. I think we kind of max out around 150. But, I'll have to say is that you're really pushing the hardware here. The only problems is I don't think the game is well optimized yet, and that's probably because it's still open beta. So we're gonna have to do more tests after the actual beta ends and the actual game comes out. But yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at these results here. Now you can see we have a average of 128, 61, and 244 for our max. We are going to run these tests a few times, and then at the end of this video, I'm going to, post the actual results of multiple tests because they have been inconclusive on most of these. So let's go ahead and drop this down to just high. I think it's very high. All right, we're going to do the very high. As far as the settings goes, it looks like the shadows are the main thing that went down. We're still at quality on TAA. And everything else in ray tracing is still on. That ray tracing is what's going to really, kick up a lot of the processing power for the GPU. All right, so let's put it on an advanced mode. And it doesn't look like we're really getting that much more in this benchmark. Like, yeah, that's almost the same as that we were getting before when we were starting out. And the visual qualities, I mean, it really only changed the shadows, it looked like. And they look almost the same as before. So it explains why the very high is just kind of the same when we were looking at the benchmark. You kind of want it to step down a little bit more each one, at least like, 10 frames per second or more. 10 to 15, I would say, from one quality to the next. So, but I am keeping in mind that this is open beta, so they do have a few fine tunings to do yet. So we're going to have to do another one. Oh, and there's the screen tearing again. And now I'm going through the capture card so that we're only getting the raw power of this. On 4K, I'm going to have to do it the other way because my capture card only does, will only actually do 1440p at max. My old capture card I had actually broke, and I just cannot get it fixed without, sending it in and pretty much buying a new one. The repair for it is the same cost as a new 4K capture card. Yeah, I mean, we're getting decent frames per second, but it's kind of the same that we're getting with the two ultra high and very high. But now we're also wanting to just go about, see, that is about 10 frames per second difference between the first one. So that is about right. It just didn't seem like it felt like it was an average of 10. So maybe that's it. Let's go ahead and jump it down to high and we'll see what we actually get. Let's go graphics and turn that down to high. Now the shadows go down to high. The TAA goes to medium, and now we do have ray tracing up. Now we should see some big differences in the FPS. It should be at least 30 to 40 frames per second. So let's go ahead and check this one out. All right, so let's go ahead and hit the advanced mode. And yeah, we're definitely getting what was it before, 130? So yeah, 30 frames per second, at least 30 to 40. Yeah, that's taking that ray tracing off, and it does not look that bad at all. I mean, our shadows are still at medium quality. They do look a little bit sharper in the shadows, but nothing actually noticeable. Yeah, this is not bad. I mean, we are seeing a little bit more, issues in the foreground, way out there, like the ships and everything. You can tell, it's a little more pixelated. The explosions at distance, they still have the screen, stuff, and that has to be from the beta. So I hope we don't see that in the original release when we do those benchmarks. But yeah, this is not bad at all. Yeah, we're looking at 160 average. So yeah, we definitely get the most of the change here, taking off, ray tracing. Yeah, that RTX will definitely do a lot. So if you have RTX on, you kind of want the DLSS on, but it doesn't seem like the DLSS is doing much at all. All right, so 182 on average, and we have a minimum of 86, and our max FPS is 68. For our next one, let's go all the way down to the bare minimum. We're going to skip medium, because usually medium and low are almost the same too, within 10 frames per second. All right, now on this one's the advanced mode. Yeah, we're definitely seeing up to, my monitor's refresh rate, which is 240. Without the capture card, of course. But yeah, that is not bad at all. Yeah, and I did run another one with the medium settings, and they are almost exactly the same as I was expecting. So we're going to run all these a few times just to get an idea, and at the end of this video, we'll go ahead and put a little comparison up here. But yeah, well, if we could jump down to around 200, we do go under 200. Well, like I've said in previous videos, I usually kind of shoot for that 75 FPS. That's where the fluidity of, your refresh rate really, starts taking effect. After that, it still gets more fluid, but, you're not getting as much of the benefit that you're going to notice between, 60 FPS and, 75 plus. That's why, like the 144 is like a perfect sweet spot where it has everything that you need and, plus some. Yeah, and then 240, that's just straight up best for, Call of Duty, Counter-Strike, Valorant now. There's a lot of those games that are, really dependent on those high FPS. So let's go ahead and take a look here. All right, so we're getting 217 and 67 for a minimum, and 275, which it does seem a bit low, but let's go ahead and take a look at all the benchmarks now. All right, so now for the finals of all this. And remember, this is a 1440p on the GeForce RTX 4080 Eagle. This is non-overclock version, the 16 gigabyte on the i7 14700K, and I am running it at 5528 megahertz. So it's not being overclocked. That's its normal core clock. That's regular boosted. No extra overclocking done here. It does run pretty hot. It's been like 82. But anyway, our ultra high, we are running at a minimum of 72, an average of 132, and a max of 251. Now this is averages over 5 different benchmarks, trying to get, kind of the right numbers, because these are really sporadic, and I mean really sporadic. When we go on to our next very high, you can see that the max was actually lower on here than it was on the ultra high, but overall they kind of feel the same. So if you're choosing between ultra high and very high, in most cases, ultra high is going to be just fine unless you're actually going under like 60 frames per second on the card you're using. Now high, you're looking at a big step because ray tracing is off in this one. So we jumped from a 141 average to a 184 average and a max of 268. And now that 268, I can't tell where it's actually taking that number from, if it's actually when you're loading in or loading out, because I did see that the FPS jumps really big there. Anyway, our medium settings, we're looking at an 89 and a 228 average and 303 maximum. That's with ray tracing off. And we're looking at, you know, maybe a 20 more frames per second, 20 to 40 again. And that's the kind of stuff you want to see when you're going between the two. You know, more than 10 is the minimum that you want to see. When we go into our low, we really don't see a big difference between the medium and low. And that's why I didn't want to do a whole video part of there, because they're almost everything I play almost seems the same. And you can see it actually goes down just a little bit. I mean, like, we're looking at 4 frames per second, you know, 228 to 224. So yeah, if you're going to be between those two, medium's going to be just fine. And, you know, we'll do some more with 4K, and maybe we'll even do a 1080p one on this one if we have time before the beta ends. If anything else, we're going to actually check this out in the release on February 16th, because there is some really strange things going on with the benchmark. You know, it was flickering a bit. I was actually going to check out, see if anybody else has been getting that as well. But anyway, let me know what you think so far of the performance of this game. I think it should be up a little bit more, but that's just my opinion. I leave it all to you in the comments below. Anyway, that's all we're going to do for this video today. Make sure you hit the like button, definitely subscribe if you're new to the channel. Y'all take care and happy gaming.